Is this thing on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 15 of the Achievement Horse podcast, brought to you by XboxGamer.me. I am your host, Scratch, and with me is my co-host, as usual, Sniffles. How you doing?
Good, not too bad.
And you've been pretty busy lately, I hear?
Yeah, I've been pretty busy, got lots of work to do at the moment, so I haven't been on my Xbox as much as I usually do. I'm probably on my Xbox as much as a normal person is, but for me, I'm not on it. I haven't been on it much this week, so I've missed out on the whole Forza Horizon 2 Fast and Furious standalone that was out on
27th.
See, I don't even know what day it came out. That's how out of the
That's
loop.
how busy you are. But your education is important, and you'll be graduating soon. So.
Yes.
And then it's smooth sailing from there on out.
And then it's just an achievement-filled summer.
That's right. Yeah, because last year for you was the summer of Forza, wasn't it? Didn't you?
Maxen got all the Gamerscore and Forza, and I just thought, I can't let him do better in a game that than me. It's not. If he can do it, I can do it. So I did that, and that took a while. So I think it might be a summer of. It could be a summer of Halo.
Or the summer of backlog.
Yeah. I like to tackle...
We could do a whole show. Maybe we'll do a whole show on our backlog, because I have so many games, and we'll get to that because I think you have a story about that. We'll talk about the games with gold that are coming out, and why maybe sales aren't the greatest idea.
I've got a lot of... I'm sure we've got a lot of similar games with gold games from 360 that none of us have touched, because we've been quite busy just... Well, since Xbox One's come out, I've been doing... most things on there, and I occasionally jump back to 360 for games with golds. But I've got a good 15 or so that I need to do, some of which are pretty easy.
I definitely need to work on my backlog. So if you're listening to this, leave a comment or whatever. What games are in your backlog? I'm just curious, because maybe you guys will have some of the same games that I need to go to.
And if there's multiplayer achievements, it can make things easier.
And then maybe we can just do them together, because I know I have a bunch. If you have a game in your backlog, there's a really good chance that I own it, downloaded it to my Xbox, and haven't done it yet.
You'll be like, that game looks
really
cool.
Really horrible with that. So I just want to give an update. We are on YouTube. We are gonna start posting the show to my YouTube channel. Last week was the first week that we did that, and if you watched that, I thank you very much. I do apologize for just showing you a static picture of the artwork for the podcast, but I didn't really have any plans to do that just yet, and so that's what we went with. I do plan on maybe throwing together a mix and mash of videos, maybe stuff that I stream to Twitch, maybe stuff that you stream to Twitch. If you have Twitch videos or whatever, maybe I'll throw some of yours up there. Anybody, it doesn't matter. Just to have something to watch in case you are sitting there. A lot of times I'll play YouTube and listen to it while I'm on a laptop or something while I'm sitting, by my Xbox playing games. So I figured YouTube would be a good place to digest the podcast. Mm-hmm. I know some of you we hit in the mornings on your commute to work, and you catch us on YouTube. iTunes. YouTunes and iTube. But anyways, so we just figured it would be.
It's nice to have somewhere else
it can't hurt to have more access. So we are now on YouTube, and we've gotten fairly.
Just don't put any videos of you playing Trials on.
Yeah, no, we won't do that. Well, I could, because there wouldn't be any audio other than the podcast. So
people will turn it off because it's too painful to watch you.
Right, it probably would be. So we are there, and I'm not sure what else. Let's see what else we have. So for the week,
up on the site.
Yep, on the site we have the reviews for Forza Horizon 2 Fast and Furious. We're going to talk about that a little bit in depth because that's what we kind of mentioned last week, which was actually the title of the show to get you to. That was our clickbait for the title of the show last week because it was 2,000 Gamerscore essentially for free, which it was. And so now that we've actually done that, we're going to talk about it. But we've got a couple of reviews. Slender, The Arrival, reviewed by Elite Effect, is on there. And he also put up Dead or Alive 5. And last week, Judge had his Game of Thrones review up there. And then I reviewed Oddworld New and Tasty. And all of those games are out on Xbox One now. You've probably missed it by the time you're doing this, but just to give you a heads up, we are doing a giveaway, or in the middle of currently giving away Unmechanical Extended, and
that's an easy.
It's just another, and it's an easy 1,000 Gamerscore. And it's another reason to subscribe and follow us because we occasionally have these opportunities, and we expect going through into the summer to have many more of them.
Oh, we'll do as many as we can.
So if you're looking to score some free stuff, we occasionally throw that out there. The Pure Hold'em open beta is now on Xbox One. Have you had a chance to play that? I haven't.
I haven't. There's a couple of things I wanted to do this week. That was Forza and to check that out.
Yeah, I'm thinking this week is going to be my Pure Hold'em.
I'm not sure when it ends, or if it's going to keep going until the game's out.
Yeah, see, we used to have a big group of friends, and we all used to play like Friday nights or whatever. So this game is going to get a lot of use. We used to fill the tables on several of the Xbox 360 different poker games. We sort of evolved and played whatever new one would come out, but
it's just not that fun when you're doing it on your own with random people.
Yeah,
and
you definitely
if you have
to
one other person you can play with, then it's okay. But it's better if you got a big bunch of people.
Yeah, so so maybe we'll talk about that. I don't know. It depends on whether I get a chance to play it or not. So yeah, just check out the website. We've got a couple of those reviews. We've got a bunch more in the pipe coming to you. So there's no shortage of things to play on the site. So we have an update for. There's an achievement update in the preview program.
It's for the April. It's for the April update. It's currently in. People can download it here in the preview program, and they added a small update to the achievements app. Generally they added just a bit of an update to the OS in terms of like snapping apps, and it just seems a little bit. Excuse the pun, snappier. And it's just not as sluggish as it used to be.
Maxen will appreciate that.
I find it very punny.
Yeah, he'll think it's funny.
I've lost what I was saying.
You're talking about it's snappier to snappier.
Yeah, it's just made it a bit quicker, and I was getting a little bit fed up of how long it was taking like to snap achievements, and then it was just sometimes it would say I didn't own the game or app, and it just seems a little bit more stable now, which is nice.
Yeah, that's definitely
just
cool.
A general...
I do snap achievements a lot. I was actually interested in when you take the, for those of you that don't know, being part of the preview program, basically you get the updates, early, typically like a month in advance. Sometimes things don't quite make it to the full update. I don't think that's actually happened in a while. Usually everything that gets pushed to us is fairly done.
Yeah.
And then they just give us a chance to kind of break it last minute. And I don't know that anything's ever had to be held up too much longer. But anyways, you get the opportunity to fill out a questionnaire about each of the features. It kind of walks you through the features to point you to it.
Yeah.
So that you can see what it is exactly that you're supposed to be experiencing and paying attention to.
And that just try and helps them.
Some things it doesn't, but
just try and help them fine tune these features and just try and make them as good as they can be, really.
And so I've always been interested in like when they ask me those questions in there, I'm like, I wonder what other people say. Like, I would love to look at that data just to see, like, I wonder how my opinion falls in line with, the rest of the people.
When it asks to rate something, I'll rarely do it 5 stars. Like, if it was fine and it seemed okay, I'll just do 4 stars or whatever. Because if you just do 5, then they'll be like, cool, that's done. We're not going to try and make that better. I just think if you do it a little bit less, then they might put some more time into trying to just make that feature just that bit better. So the one thing I wanted to say, and it's funny that you bring up that it's snappier, I have found on a couple of occasions that, like, right now, the update when it comes out, the new thing for the achievements is that when the achievement toast pops, it shows you first the name of the achievement,
what you've unlocked,
and the game
right
score.
And then it flips and it displays the description. But sometimes which is cool, because a lot of times you'll wonder, like,
which achievement was that I got?
One, right, and then it'll pop and be like, is that the one? And then you snap it, or you try to look at it quick and see, like, if that was it. But I do like it, but I do think that toast notification does flip kind of quickly. I tend to read through the achievements first just to kind of get an idea of what I'm getting into.
I think I was looking on one of the, like, recent surveys they did for this new achievements thing. Is it said how, like, I think it was asking, like, are you happy with how long the description was there for?
Right.
But
yeah, I think
I haven't filled that one in yet because
I
haven't got an achievement yet since to check that out.
Oh, really? Yeah, I have a couple.
I got one in Monopoly when we did Monopoly, and I saw the description come up there, which was nice.
Yeah, it's definitely cool, because if you're like, oh, was that the one I was after? Because sometimes there's a different one.
And if you're not bothered by it, then it doesn't matter. It's like there's so many things they can add that. So if people aren't bothered by it, then it doesn't matter. They don't care. But it's the people that really care about those kind of things. It just, makes it easier for them to track things. And like, there have been times where I was like, oh yes, I just got the achievement, and then I've stopped paying attention. I've quit the level, and then to realize that it wasn't that one.
Right. Right. Now you can read it, and it'll get you going. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I've toyed with the idea of doing some update walkthrough videos on YouTube. I may actually go back to doing that. I used to do, like, to kind of help people guide around and show them the different things and different idea. They do quite well, because, like, usually when somebody's at work and they haven't had a chance to get home, or like in your case, it's been a week, you haven't had a chance to really look at it, you'd watch a 5-minute video of somebody walking through, like, what you're about to experience. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I thought it was pretty good. So this one especially, because it definitely has some stuff that this podcast would be interested in, if you're listening to us anyways.
Oh, and another thing that was added in the update, which is quite a big thing that people have been asking for ages, is the voice messaging.
Yes.
And like we said, that things don't always quite work how they do. I tried it out earlier and it wasn't really working. I tried to play back my message and I couldn't hear anything. But those kind of things will be and are usually fixed by the time it's released to everyone else.
Yeah, that's what the preview's for.
That's the purpose of it.
That's what they'll find, and usually those stuff is minor for them to, to see, and that's what it's about, really, because sometimes you don't know what stuff's going to do until you give it to, a few 100,000 people, that are in I'm not even sure what the number would be now, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm sure there's plenty. I know a lot of people who are in it.
The coolest feature with this, though, which it's not really that important for me, but you can send messages from between Xbox One and Xbox 360, the voice messages.
Yep. Yeah, that's interesting that you say that, because what happened is
That would have been cool at launch time, really useful.
Oh yeah,
but now for me, not so much. But other people,
now not so much because most of your friends and everybody has it. But it's definitely still worth it.
If they don't have an Xbox One, they're not your friend anymore.
Right, and well, for me too. Like if people are going to send me if you see someone playing on their 360 and you send them a voice message, to say, hey, do you want to hop over on Xbox One? You don't have to type it out.
Normally, I just pick up my phone and do it on that.
Which I didn't know that it was. I didn't know that it went between the both.
But... Yeah, well, I think they just thought, well, let's get it working if we can, because if we do voice messages, then people are going to then ask to do it cross-gen. Right. So I think they just thought.
Well, Keezy sent me one first day, and I looked at my smart glass, and smart glass hadn't update. It hadn't had the update yet. And Smart Glass told me
like unreadable or something.
It says check this message on your Xbox 360.
Oh, okay.
Because it knew that it was a voice message. But when I got on my Xbox, I was actually on my Xbox One when I saw it come in, and so I knew that he had sent it to me via the Xbox One, which was interesting. But
and then I assume you'll be able to listen to them on Smart Glass as well.
It could happen. I don't know. I mean, they never did it with the 360, but Smart Glass has gotten a lot of attention lately. So
I think they realized how much people use it.
Yeah, I use it every day.
Yeah,
every day.
If I'm not
just a message or talk to people.
If I'm not at home, I'll be like, oh, who's online playing what?
Right. Yep.
Because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be back home in half an hour. Let's see who's on.
Yep, I do. I definitely do that. So, I guess we'll go to the Forza. Now, you haven't had a chance to play this.
No, but I've spoken to people who have.
Okay. Then I will take the helm here, and I will make you very jealous because this seriously is super easy. So, the cool thing that they've done is they've made the game. It's Forza Horizon 2 presents Fast and Furious. I think that's the full name for it or whatever. And so basically, as free games that are really advertisements go, this is top notch. It doesn't get any better than this because if it's basically a full blown demo, but it's built on the fact that it's a separate game. It's like play this game. But it
plays in the same way as Forza Horizon 2.
Yep. And it's basically Forza Horizon 2. The story kind of picks up and plays off some stuff that's going on in Forza Horizon 2, although it doesn't. It's not one of the things like you have had to have played Forza Horizon 2 to enjoy Fast and Furious because it has nothing to do with each other. There's just some of those anecdotal sort of links between the two, just to you're the same guy, and they make mention. Ludacris is the announcer, or he's the guy talking to you, and basically instead of stealing a bunch of cars, you have to race. You just have to race and win the cars, which is cool. But I got thinking about that, and I'm like, well, if you're racing to win the car and you have to beat the car, what do you want it for? You already have a faster car, obviously. But anyway, you have to why does he want your car? Why not just use the car you already have? Because
you just beat him.
That would clearly win the race. Is that wherever you're taking these cars that I'm about to win for you? But anyways, it basically does the race for pink slips sort of deal.
Yeah.
And then you just win 10 cars, and there's a bonus car, I think, if you collect all of the there's a couple of special boards, the boards that you have to smash for XP and that sort of thing.
Well,
because there's no
XP
XP
are in every game these days.
Right. And there's 20 of them, but there's no achievement tied to that.
Okay.
It just gives you a car if you want it, but basically, you're going to race and then win the races and get a car. So there are, I think, maybe 10 or 12 bucket lists, maybe less. There's a few bucket list challenges that you can do. It's a very, very watered down version of Forza Horizon 2. But that said, it still takes about 3 hours to complete. So, you know, I guess if you look at Forza Horizon 2, like you're looking at, I don't know, how many hours to complete that? Like 200?
A lot.
You know what I mean? You're going to be racing a lot.
I reckon it's like a good 100.
But anywhere's from like 2 to 3 hours per game, because you can do this on both the 360 and the One. But maybe like 2 to 3 hours per game, depending on, not even really depending on your driving skills, because...
And if you're bad, can't you just put all the assists on and...
Oh, yeah. You put up... Well, I take that... Well, you can't put all the assists on, because I put the assists on the 360 version. Trying to... There's one where you have to race the helicopter.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept... Like, I would wreck or I would spin out, and it was because I wasn't braking in time. But the assisted braking or whatever that's supposed to be quote-unquote easier was way too slow to beat that helicopter.
Yeah, because it puts it on like points where you don't really need to brake. Where you don't
need to, or it has you braking harder than you should. I played it a couple times. I'm pretty convinced that it's impossible to beat that helicopter with all the assists on. Unless you have an absolutely perfect run, which is harder with the assists on than it is if you just race haphazardly. You know, so. But basically the achievements they're different for both games. And I'll get into the differences because there's not too many. But the achievements are to collect, like one is you get 100 for starting the game, like completing like an intro race. And then you get another 100 for like ending the game, which is like another is like an outro race, I guess, right? So it's like the finale. And so you get another 100 for that. So there's 200. And then you get like 40 Gamerscore, give or take. I think it's 40 a piece for all the 10 cars that you get. So there's another 400. And then the rest of the Gamerscore is just broken down into challenges. So there's, or not challenges, but skill chain stuff. So you have to get like 5 air.
5.
Right. And the first air you get is in like the 4th or 5th race. And you're going to get about 7 more airs after that during that same race. So like that achievement just is, I mean, it's for getting 5, but you're going to get 8 or so in the first in the first off-road race that you have. There's opportunities to get like 8 or 9 of them.
So that's kind of unmissable unless you're going around really slow.
Most of them are unmissable. The only hard one, and that's really what the rest of the Gamerscore is based off your skill chains, like have 10 near misses or do 20 burnouts or something like that. I mean, this is stuff that happens the entire time you're racing.
Yeah.
So you'll most likely unlock them naturally, just by racing. So don't start the game. And this is kind of what I made a mistake and why it took me a little bit longer. But don't start the game and then as soon as you get in the car, just sit there and do burnouts until you pop that achievement, because you're gonna get that racing by the time you finish it. Anyways.
Yeah, you'll waste more time.
You'll waste more time trying to grind them out than if you just do it. And that goes for both games. The only hard achievement that I had difficulty with on the Xbox One is to get a skill chain of 100,000. And a skill chain of 50,000. And what I was going to say is it might as well have been 100,000 because I wasn't even going to get 50. But I was able to do it, and so I'll just Maxen explained to me how to do it, and then Peddler, our friend Peddler, jumped online and actually walked me through doing it, like showing me exactly what I needed to do. And so I got the McLaren P1, and then you just start like a drift. like a side-to-side drift. So basically, you're going to go down the airstrip runway and fishtail the whole way, and it counts as a drift. About midway down, there is some lights along the runway, and there's some bushes. If you can run over those lights or drive through those bushes, you'll get 1,000
extra points.
Extra points for the damage and the side swipe, and maybe some like danger or something.
Danger.
They help you get a few thousand extra. So basically, you need to get your fishtailing. So what you do is you're gonna like turn to the right, and then as soon as you start to drift, let off the gas, turn to the left, and then slam the gas again, and then just do that alternating. It's kind of difficult to explain, but I did it with the McLaren P1, and so I changed the settings to be manual transmission. You can't really do it on automatic because the game will overcorrect for you to stop you from spinning out and drafting and or drifting and all of that stuff. So
you take off like assists.
So I took off all the assists and just put it on regular Maxen and Peddler style controls. And that'll help you do it. And then basically you're just going to run in about third gear. Just go up to third gear. You can start right out in third, I think, actually. And then kind of start your fishtail. And it'll take you a while, but your multiplier will count up to ×5. And that's where it maxes out. So then all you have to do is get 10,000 in your counter, your score counter or whatever. So once you get 10,000 and ×5, then you can just stop or wreck or whatever, and the achievement will pop.
So
of course,
that was the only one you have a bit of difficulty with.
It's kind of difficult to get. I had to watch Maxen's video because he streamed the other day and on Twitch, and I had to watch that, and then I had Peddler like watch what I was doing or explain it to me a little bit more, and I was able to do it. It's not that hard. Like once you get going, I'm certainly not good enough to like do it in a few minutes like Maxen suggested to me, but it took a little time. So the good thing about that is, in the 360 version, the max that you have to get for that same achievement is only 15,000.
Why is that different?
I don't know, but I will say that one of the other differences I noticed, besides the obvious graphical differences, when I was playing on the 360 version, it was actually a lot harder to race. Like I found that I had to do a lot better to stay out ahead than I did on the Xbox One version, which I found interesting. But I'll tell you why I think that is. As you may or may not know, and I've actually seen some people complaining about it, just goes to show like how good of a system Xbox One is, because Forza Horizon is no joke on the 360. It's an awesome game. The 360 is an awesome machine. But there's a huge graphical difference, which, that's cosmetic. It doesn't really matter. But I also noticed some differences in the controls. I don't think that the Forza Horizon 2 on the 360, or this version on the 360 controls as well as it does on the Xbox One, and I don't think it's something that I would have noticed.
Like if you just only ever played that one,
right? But this is the first game that I basically played Xbox One version for 3 hours, for 2 or 3 hours or whatever, and then I jumped straight to the 360 version. And this is the first game that I've ever played back to back like that, and so I don't know that you would notice it otherwise. Conversely, I thought when I played the 360 version when I first started it up, I'm like, well, this doesn't look too bad. It actually looks really, really good. And it does look really, really good by 360 standards for sure. And I just thought it was great. I'm like, there's really not too much of a difference, is there? You know what I mean? Well, when I went back to the one version to get that 50,000 skill chain,
you're just like,
then I
whoa.
could really notice the difference. I was like, wow, after I'd played that one for a while. But one thing I noticed is that it doesn't quite control as well on the 360 version. And then the other thing is there's no drivatar.
Oh, yeah.
On the 360 version, which I think now we've all kind of become a little bit spoiled, and we expect that those systems are in place. But they're not on the 360 version. There's also no multiplayer on the 360 version. But if you look at that stuff, it really goes to show like just how much of a better system and how much of a jump the Xbox One really is. I mean, now naturally that's to be expected because it's well,
otherwise you wouldn't buy
it's a much newer system, right? I mean, it's supposed to be. But this game is it's kind of a good thing to notice that. And I have yet to confirm with Maxen about it, but I'm not going to play through it again or to see what's there. But I think some of the races are different as well, like your objective or what you have to do. They've mixed it up a little bit.
That's kind of good if you're doing them back to back.
Which was really cool, yeah. And I think they know that people are going to do them back to back, especially because they're, giving away the 1,000 Gamerscore basically for just a couple of hours of your time and advertising as well. And I mean, like I said, as advertising games go, this beats the crap out of Yaris.
And maybe they're deliberately giving easy Gamerscore.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, what better way to like reach everybody?
Yeah.
The easy Gamerscore, like if you looked at my news feed, like on either on Facebook or whatever, on True Achievements, everybody was talking
several
about,
thousand people have completed the whole 1000G.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the most
quickly completed.
Right, but it got the most reach. I mean, look at Avatar: The Last Airbender. If that game, I mean, think about it. I mean, you can't flood the market with this because then it loses its appeal. But several years later, the people still talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender game on Xbox One.
46,000 people have played it.
Right. We should look that up. I wonder, according to TA, what is the most played and completed game? That probably would have to be it, right?
Yeah, 97.47%.
Right.
There might be something that's more like an app or something. I don't know, but
right. But like I'm talking like a full
actual,
game. Yeah. And Avatar: Last Airbender wasn't advertising a thing, and look at all of that missed opportunity they had to tell us about something that we should go watch. So I'm probably going to go see the Fast and Furious movie because I think their marketing worked. I mean, I'm well aware of the movie coming out now, and that sort of stuff. So I think that,
21,000 have it on TA, and 7,500 have completed it.
Right. So, well, there you have it. Like, so in 3 days,
and that's just the people tracked on here. And that's
right.
Just
so
on
you have like 3 days. They've halved what Avatar has had for. They're not really good on the completion percentage just yet, but it's not as easy as Avatar. But they've at least reached that many people.
Yeah.
And I know that we've reached about 10 more people because all my cousins were at an Easter dinner that we had today, and I told them all about the game. None of them knew that it was out yet, or that you could get that. I'm like, yeah, it's free. It's free right now. You can get it on both your systems. They all just recently got Xbox Ones not long ago. But overall, it was really fun. Maxen actually has a review on the website, so xboxgamer.me if you want to check that out. And it's definitely worth the download. I mean, like I said, you can't knock it.
And
if you've never played Forza Horizon,
the
April 9th, I think, is
Okay.
when it's not free anymore. But you definitely, if you like this game, I mean, I think Forza Horizon 2 is probably a game for you if you like this game, because it's very, 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 very much the same sort of game. And actually, the part of the map that you're driving around in is a small niche part of the full game. And so you get access to all of that. Like, it's pretty much unchanged. So definitely really cool there.
Nice. And then we also had some big news. A few weeks ago, they announced that April's Games with Gold was going to be double.
Yep.
So
that was no joke.
So it'd be 4 titles on 360 and 2 on Xbox One. And then a couple of days ago, they've announced what those titles are going to be. So for Xbox One, we've got, well, this is what you were talking about earlier. So in the Christmas sales, I think it was, I downloaded.
Oh, you remembered right away.
I downloaded Child of Light because it was on sale. And it was like a third off or something. And
it was a good deal. I mean, it wasn't bad.
And it's now March, well, April, and I have not even launched the game. And now it is one of the Games with Gold titles. So I kind of feel annoyed, but, you know, that's my fault more than anything.
You could have been enjoying that for several months, and we could have been talking about, and Child of Light is really cool, and it's coming out for free. I really enjoyed it when I bought it back in December.
But no, I can't say what it's like. So yeah, Child of Light is number 1 on Xbox One, and the other one is a pool game, which hasn't actually come out yet.
Pool Nation FX. Maxen looks forward to seeing how it racks up.
What against?
Or stacks up.
Against, what was the one he was playing?
Pure Pool.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and so Pure Pool, which is how Maxen was able to successfully guess the poker when they asked about a reveal. They were talking about revealing the game, and they wanted people to guess or whatever, and Maxen guessed correctly because he had played Pure Pool, which his review for that is also on the site if you're interested in checking that out. But it looks like you're going to have a pool game to play.
Can't really tell at this stage what the achievements are going to be because I don't think anything's been.
Yeah, there's not much out about it. I looked before this so that we could talk about it, and I didn't see
the list will just be up on the day. Like, as soon as someone pops an achievement, that'll get updated onto all the tracking sites, or even, I mean, you can just look at it on the console. But
right,
I have with those kind of games, it can go either way. I think they don't tend to be that easy because there'll be some.
I just hope we can play pool against our friends.
Yeah.
That's all I cared about, and I'm sure you probably can. But
so those are the 2 for Xbox One. On Xbox 360, the first half of the month is, let me get this right. Terraria
or Terraria. I don't know even how you say that. I say Terraria. That's what we're gonna call it.
And Gears of War Judgment. And then for the second half of the month, it's Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Army of Two, which I've got 2 of those games, I think. Yeah. So I've already got Gears of War Judgment, and I think there's 1,000. No, I think there could be 2,000 G. I'll just have a look at that in a second. But those achievements on Gears of War are pretty tough. There's a lot of DLC achievements. There's ones for doing like Horde mode.
Yeah.
You know, the usual. Okay, so there's 1,500 Gamerscore. 500 of which is DLC. But you can get the season pass really cheap if you do want to get into all of those. There are some quite grindy ones, like Unstoppable, which is achieve level 50 in multiplayer a third time, and then you have to re-up, which is like a prestige system. So that one takes a while, but I have a feeling what they normally tend to do with Gears of War is they start adding like permanent XP bonuses to make those kind of ones easier. So it'll be like a constant 5 times XP bonus from when people first started playing it. And the only other one that you'll probably have a problem with that will take a while is Cyberite, which is earn the Onyx War Supporter Medal, which I think is play 30 like are they public events? I don't know what they call them, but it's like each week there's a different like event that you can play in. And it just changes up each week, and you have to play in 30 different ones of those. So that will take you a long time, but if you remember to go on each week, then you'll eventually get it. Then you got a load of campaign ones, usual Gears of War style achievements, and a couple of, I think, Cogtag collectibles.
Okay. So
yeah, have a look into those. You can probably get a decent amount of Gamerscore quite easily, but to get all of it, it's gonna take a while. Black Flag I do actually have, but not on 360. So that's kind of cool.
I have that on Xbox One, yeah.
I don't know if I'm gonna double up on that or not. I want to, and it was really fun. But
it's probably one of my favorite Assassin's Creed that there are.
I liked it more than Unity. But it's a long 1000G. It's actually 1250, which I'm assuming is 250 of is DLC.
Right.
It's not that hard to 1000G. It's just, it takes a while, but it's really, really good fun. So if you haven't got it, definitely pick that up. And you'll get a lot of gameplay out of that. There's loads to do.
Yeah. If you're one of the people who are living off the games with gold for,
this is a good one.
This is a game for you. That's one thing I was talking about the other day. My neighbor is actually buying an Xbox One, and he doesn't spend a lot of money on games, or have a lot of money probably to spend on them because he does a lot of other things. But he does have one, just to play or whatever. And he's the type of person who, he'll get the new Call of Duty when that comes out, or he might get a game like Titanfall, or he might buy like a couple of the big AAA titles and plays them the crap out of them. And he was talking about like sizes of the hard drive to get, because he found a deal to get the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare bundle, a Xbox One Unlimited Edition console, which comes with a terabyte hard drive. And so I said to him, I was like, the terabyte hard drive isn't a horrible idea, because
with all games with gold titles,
because you may fill it up and that'll give you just that much more. And I said the price increase from buying a normal one versus buying the limited edition console, the price difference is about the difference of buying a hard drive. You can get some cheaper hard drives, but at least this one is, built right in. It makes it a lot easier, whatever. And he's like, well, I'll probably never fill it up. And I was like, well, you will. I said, games with gold. I said, you have a gold subscription so that you can play online. I said, there's a ton of games that are being released.
And some games are huge.
Digitally.
They're like 50 gig.
I almost need another external hard drive just for my 360 games.
I'm now coming to an end on my 500 gig on my Xbox One. I've had to delete a lot of stuff.
Oh, I'm well beyond that. Yeah, I have things that aren't downloaded right now.
That's another way that encourages me.
Just about to fill up a 2 terabyte hard drive.
Oh wow, that's another thing that encourages me to like finish games. I was like, okay, I need to get this last achievement on Tomb Raider, and I can delete it.
Right, and then put it back in your. It's cool that they keep it for you, but I just like to have it saved somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to delete a game with gold game because if that ever got delisted or whatever, I'd be like, whatever, that's no big deal. Because I didn't pay anything for it either. And if I finished it, I don't care.
So far, with the exception of Rayman, I had that anyway. The games of gold titles, I doubt they're things that I'll go back to after finishing. With the IDAB, I probably will. Just if every now and then, it's good fun to jump on. But the other games, I don't know. Like Guacamelee, I don't think I'll be going back to that. Or Crimson Dragon. So I try and delete them as and when I can. But 500 gig isn't really lasting much longer.
Yeah, I've not had good luck with it. And I'm really, 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 really starting to fill everything up.
So, back to Games of Gold. We have Terraria. But there's an A in the middle. Why is it not Terraria? Or maybe it is. Have you played that before? I've never played it.
A friend of mine, Crazy Cougar, who's a fellow Xbox MVP, and listener of our podcast, had mentioned for me to get it a while ago, because he saw me, playing Minecraft or whatever, and we got talking about easy games, and apparently this one isn't too hard.
Well,
to finish.
TA seems to say otherwise, and with these kind of games, I don't know if people haven't finished it because
I think it probably takes some time. I think it's time. I do think it's time.
Because on TA, only 689 out of 20,000 have completed it, so that's at just over 3%. But then it looks like a decent amount of people have all the achievements. It's just, I think it's the ones that not many people have are just all very time consuming. Smelt 10,000 bars, obtain every type of armor.
Right. And so, like, maybe when you smelt...
Find all pets, and then all
depending on how...
capitalized, suggesting there's a lot. But I don't know, I haven't played it. But
yeah, I know what you mean, though.
They just look quite time consuming.
So I think for our easy completion vote, I can't speak to Pool Nation, but I do know Child of Light is an easy one. It's a little bit time consuming, not horrible, but it's a great game, and I've played through about half of it, and I'm glad that it's free now because I'll be able to get the rest of it. I borrowed it from a friend, or a friend was here at my house.
Oh, I thought you...
And had it, and so I only played about halfway through it before he had to leave, and then of course I lost access to the game, and I'd been going to buy it for some time.
It's a good thing you waited, unlike me.
But I didn't. Right, I was so close to getting it at when it was on sale. But it's made by Ubisoft, which they're good friends of ours. And they do make some really good games. So, as you can see, they were
Ubisoft access.
They do need a Ubisoft access. Oh, that would be. It almost is this week this month because Child of Light and Assassin's Creed Black Flag. I mean, Ubisoft made an appearance on both consoles this month. With their game, so.
And then the other one we haven't said about the achievements is Army of Two. I haven't played it before. I know a few people who have, and they said the achievements aren't that bad, but I think there's a few that are either quite time consuming or just difficult. On True Achievements, 2.5% of people completed it.
Okay.
And the achievement that it looks like people are struggling to get is $1 billion in ranked matches.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know if that's because people can't find games, or even if you can find games, it's still time consuming. But again, as with a lot of the Games with Gold titles, when they come out, sometimes it does make it easier to get some of those achievements that have been difficult to get due to the fact that there's not many people playing it.
Right.
So maybe that one might be more achievable. I don't know. It's hard to say without having played the game. And then it looks like there's some DLC, but I can't tell right now whether it's paid or not. There's one, there's one that's free and another one for 100G that you have to pay for. So
okay.
I think you can get 1,150G off that.
Okay.
Which is cool. So I've just seen TA says on the side, this isn't very cool. The game has 10 discontinued achievements.
Oh. See.
And now I suddenly think, actually, I don't want to start that game. And I can't tell right now which ones they are.
Oh, you know what? That's really funny that you mentioned that. I remember this now that you brought this up, and I wish we would have caught this prior to starting because I would have investigated a little further. But this was the one where EA was taking down the servers, which eliminated achievements, I think, in the first Army of Two.
Right.
And then it was this big blow up about it. And then everybody was complaining about EA and doesn't care about blah, blah, blah.
It's all the multiplayer ones.
And then they did it again. Then they did it again in the second game.
Yeah, it's all the multiplayer
After
achievements.
taking this huge, and it wasn't no small backlash, it was huge backlash of people who had this game in their backlog and they had played it and started it and whatever.
Or just got a couple of the achievements.
And then got a couple of the achievements, and then they discontinued the online play, and you couldn't play it anymore or whatever. And people were just livid, mad about it.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but then the real kick in the teeth was when they came out with the second one, and then they did it to the second one. Like after, like you would think, like basically the thing is like EA not listening to their fan base because it's like everybody's upset about this, and yet you released a second game and did the same exact thing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
With the Games of Gold title, that's quite a brave move.
Well, basically what they're going to do is just expose what they do to everyone now, because that's not good. Because all these people are going to download and start playing and realize how many people are going to download this and start playing it?
A lot.
And get about halfway through it or whatever, only to realize that they can't get some of the achievements or that they can't use all of the game's features.
Yeah, so now it's I think it might be easier to get all of the achievements that are obtainable. I don't think it's that bad. The only reason like the percentage of people complete it on TA is obviously because that number's not going to change now.
Right, they had it a couple years ago.
Yeah. And it wasn't a game that I remember, had a lot of people playing at the time of launch. I don't remember hearing about it when it came out.
Yeah, I remember that being a big deal. I read a couple articles about that. So,
yeah, that's the game.
It'll be interesting. We'll pay attention to that. That's going to be interesting to see. Because I bet a lot of people don't know that. Like, a lot of people don't know that happened. And so, you know how it is. People love to complain about free.
Yeah.
And so...
Whoa, why we get this game for free?
So, Child of Light, Pool Nation, Gears of War, Terraria, Assassin's Creed, you guys are in the clear because the complaining about free award for this next month is going to go to Army of Two, Devil's Cartel.
If there's something that's free and I don't like it, I won't play it.
That's me, right? I'm just going to not get it, right? I have the option to not get it. I have,
Yeah, you don't have to play it.
Right. I mean, yeah. So I might pick it up and play it. I might pick it up and play it just to see what it's about, but you're right, we didn't used to get them for free, so you can't complain too much about it. Child of Light makes up for everything for me.
But we'll probably go into a bit more detail in the coming weeks about achievements for these particular games, and
yeah, I think we'll revisit some of them.
I'll have a good look back over the ones that I've done and on Gears of War Judgment, and try and pick out some like achievements that are going to be easy and quick to get, and ones that you might want to avoid if you're not bothered by getting the whole completion.
Right.
But I think that was it.
Okay.
For this week, was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Nope, I don't think so. I think we're good. So I will have this up on the site probably tomorrow, which you don't know when that is because it's already there.
And it's going to be up on YouTube as well.
And I put it up on YouTube as well, so hopefully things will take off there. Hopefully that's a good way for you guys to get it. If not, let us know, and I'll take it right down right away.
And didn't you just hit 1,300 subscribers on YouTube?
Yep, 1.3 thousand. That makes it sound big. That makes it sound bigger, right? You could say 1,300, but 1.3 thousand sounds so much bigger.
Either way, it's impressive.
So yeah, 1,300 subscribers. Just actually, I think today or yesterday. I might be at 1,302 now.
You should have a cake. Have some cake.
So, yeah, maybe I'll do something at like 2,000 subscribers or whatever. I think that'd be the next.
Setting off some fireworks.
Yeah, I could do that. I actually missed my 1,000 mark. I had a video that actually became pretty popular that I wasn't aware of. And so, excuse me. Well, I was aware of it, but it became pretty popular, and I actually shot up like 15 subscribers in that one day. Usually I get like 1 or 2 a week, 3 a week, and so I was like, oh, by the end of the week I'll have 1,000, and maybe I'll do a video and celebrate or say something or whatever. And the morning that I thought of that, I was at like 992, and I checked when I got home, and I was at like 1,029, something like that, by the third day that I looked. So the first day I missed it by like 5, and I was like, oh crap, I'll just do it tomorrow because it'll be, 1,005, no big deal. And then the next day after that, it was like up in the 20s.
You're just raking them in.
But it goes in spurts. So, but thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
You can say watching now.
I can say watching.
Thanks for watching this still image.
Yeah, I'll try to change that. I'll try to put some video in there, maybe put some bonus stuff in there for those of you who catch it on the YouTube channel. I've been having a hard time starting the show recently, so maybe I'll...
Today, how many takes did you take at the beginning?
Yeah, we were like on take 4 or 5.
It's getting more and more
Usually
each
I do
week,
it in 1 or 2.
And I think it just makes it more enjoyable. I'm like, how many is it going to be this week?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about how to make it a little bit better. Maybe I'll throw some stuff on the YouTube channel, maybe some video of us, or
you could probably. It won't be too long before you can make a whole episode of outtakes of you at the beginning. Although there'd be a lot of bleep.
It's that opening part. Yeah, I'd have to rate it NC-17 or wherever it allows swearing. It's pretty bad. So, but I'll think of something. If you guys have some things you'd like to see or whatever, just leave a comment on the YouTube because that's where you're listening. If there's anything on there that you want to see, or maybe we'll throw some gameplay up there. We'll throw some outtakes, some video, something funny to watch maybe or something. And
cool.
Until next week, thanks for listening and thanks for watching. And we'll talk to you then. See ya.